forearms and calves, is that even a real workout? Sure, that's what some of you may be saying. But you are goddamn right, it's a real ass fucking workout. I'm talking heavy sets, I'm talking squeezing, I'm talking burnouts. I guess calves is pretty understandable, but the forearms, I'd say forearms are up there in some of the more neglected muscle groups. You know, calves is pretty neglected. I'd say rear delt is pretty neglected. Like the club of neglected muscle groups, I'd say calves, hamstrings, forearms, rear delts. Those are probably the top four. The four. I'm trying to come up with something to play into like the Horseman of the Apocalypse, but you get the gist. So, in my mind, at least a while ago, I was under the impression, dude, if I've got a muscle in my fucking frame, I want to hit it, regardless of size, fucking importance to your overall aesthetic, whatever. So, a couple of years ago, I was like consistently working my tibialis. I don't know. I was doing like manual sets almost not every day, but every time I would do calves of the front of my calves. So I'd kind of sit myself up against a wall, and you can basically do like toe raises, where like if this is my heel, I would like try to raise my toes up and get like a front of the shin pump, which is actually legit. I hear, I mean, I'm not a scientist about it, but I hear a lot of good things about your knee health when the front muscles of your shins are reasonably developed. Maybe I should throw those in today too. Maybe not, but we'll see. But in terms of forearms, look, you may throw a set of hammer curls in on the regular, but I don't think that's enough. I would not say that that's enough forearm training if you actually want like reasonably developed, meaty forearms. And not even just meaty, I'm talking strong too. You know, I don't do much. I don't really do any direct forearm work or anything which really loads my forearms. Like when I do straps, or when I do curls, I even usually strap into the dumbbell so I don't have to work my forearms as much. When I do back, I use straps, so I'm never really testing my grip. But even just building them up to the size now, like when I grab a dynamometer, you know, like that fucking grip squeezing kind of scale measurement sort of tool, more of a more of a fucking uh, wrestler, arm wrestler kind of item. Doesn't really correlate to bodybuilding, but I can pretty much squeeze about 200 pounds on both arms. My PR squeeze was 212 on the left arm, and I think I got like 205 on the right, which shouldn't surprise me. I cut my hand open like 2 years ago really bad when I was working, so I think I may have I may have accidentally kind of messed up some of my grip power in my thumb. I don't really notice it. Like I feel strong, but little old stuff like that. I guess it's got a 7 pound effect. But when it comes to forearms, what today's going to look like, it's not going to be any brachioradialis work or brachioradialis, whatever. So that's the muscle which gets mainly activated when you do something like a hammer curl or a reverse curl. You know, it's kind of where your forearm ties into your upper arm up here. Like, yeah, you can see it pretty well. It's this kind of fancy muscle which is like swooping over. And when you do hammer curls, that's getting worked a lot. Like reverse curls, same thing. So even though, yes, you are working that part of your forearm, that doesn't really make your forearms look crazy big, right? Because like when I think of big ass forearms, it just immediately Lee Priest clips are coming to mind, where he's sitting here with like flexing his arm like this, kind of like making a ball out of it. Like this is the part of the forearm which really kind of adds that sort of just thickness. So that doesn't get developed from doing hammer curls. That gets developed from doing like, would it be flexion? Yeah, yeah. Wrist flexion. And this would be wrist extension. Well, let me explain. So a couple of these sets are going to be heavy dumbbell, basically hang my hand off the edge of a bench, do kind of forearm curls like this. Like this action is what you're looking for. So I'll probably do a couple sets like that, a few sets on the cable, or I'll put the cable like kind of head height-ish, use a straight bar or maybe a D handle if I want to do single arm, and do some stuff like this. And even just after 3 hard sets of that, my forearms are going to be completely fucking pumped. but I'll probably do maybe 6 or 7 sets each, or 6 or 7 sets ish of that kind of, flexor work. But there's also one more part of your forearms, which I would say are the most neglected, and that's the fucking backside. Like when I do this, like when I pull my hand backwards, like I'm trying to put my hand up, like, or whatever, wait. When I do that, and you see these little lines kind of show up, those are, pretty much what's primarily responsible for like opening up your hand, pulling your fingers open. Right? We're always used to this, right? We're used to this kind of squeezing. So to load that back part of your forearm by grabbing a light dumbbell and doing reverse curls like that, just pivoting at the wrist, that's what's going to get the back of my forearm really pumped up. And in your day-to-day life, that part of your fucking forearm gets basically no work. Like, I mean, like, you're gonna pick shit up normally. Just walking around, you're picking up backpacks or fucking grabbing all the groceries in one trip, whatever. The actual, like, squeezing chain of your grip chain of your forearm, that gets worked a lot. But your extending, your forearm extensors, those barely get worked at all. So, as heavy as I'm gonna go on my, like, sort of, this kind of part of my forearm with the forearm curls, I'm only going to grab like the 20-pound dumbbell, probably even just the 15-pound dumbbell, pop a squat, hang it over my knee, and just burn out reps like this. And by the time I hit 20, I'll pretty much be on fucking fire. So that's what I'm going to throw in a little bit more frequently for this bulking phase. So if you were expecting a back day, let me explain if you haven't heard me already. My back is pretty good. Looking at and I don't mean like in a general, like across the board. I mean like relative to how big I am, my back is a pretty good strong point. So like when I'm if you look at that last day of dieting when I did like an unpumped pose down, like the back lat spread, dude, the lats are there, right? That's fucking killer. What I really want is to pick up my arms and my legs and my chest. So I'm gonna chill out on back a little and only hit it once a week. Hit everything else twice a week. But instead of making today a rest day, I'm fucking restless. Right? I can't do a rest day unless I actually need one. So instead of back, I'm gonna change gears, do some accessory work with forearms and calves. But nothing else to say apart from just actually doing it. Forearms first, because that's the fun part. Save calves for later, and then we can talk about the calf training in depth when I'm actually doing it. But let's just get started for this relatively unconventional lift, but still going to be highly fucking productive with a nasty, veiny. I'm trying to think of other, with a solid ass pump. So let's just get started. Okay, so I have warmed up because it's been a while since I've actually done these kind of heavy forearm loading. It is a lot of force all through your wrist. So even if you're kind of a stronger dude, if you haven't done this, maybe ease into it, right? But the basic premise, like I said in the car, just gonna sit here, hang my fucking arm over the side, and it's just this. It's not like a crazy, it's not like a cable fly where I get a crazy squeeze and hold. I'm really just kind of pumping it out. I'll when I do it on the cable in a few sets, then that'll be more of a hold. But this part is really just kind of pumping out reps, and then you'll get to a point by like, at least for me with this 60-pounder, by the time I get to like 15 or so, I'm gonna be fucking on fire. I'm not necessarily gonna take it to complete muscular failure. This is just doing a solid amount of damage, kind of accruing work, you know. But this is where your forearms are gonna grow. I mean, my forearms saw the most gains when I did this on a consistent basis. I haven't worked them for a long time, really directly, but now I kind of want to. I want them to, want to take them to the next level. God damn it. Okay. Okay. All right. 60 is about as heavy as I want to go. Let's do like 3 more of these and then move on to some cable. Probably cable with a straight bar. Oh my God. Oh, fuck no. Oh my God. Okay. One more. I think I'm gonna kind of sandwich forearms. I was gonna do the fucking reverse curls first. In all honesty, I just fucking forgot. So I'm gonna do 4 sets of these kind of sitting curls like that. Do a couple, maybe 5, 6 or so light ones, reverse curls. Then do the cable kind of finishers. And that'll be it for forearms. You know, it doesn't take much, but it does take direct work, I feel. You're not just going to suddenly start making serious forearm gains, just like you shouldn't expect to make crazy chest gains if you're not hitting your chest that hard. So your muscle's a muscle, no matter where it is in your frame. If you want to grow it, you got to work it. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's just keep the same angle, but I'm going to come back with a 20-pound dumbbell instead of the 60. We can transition to some of this stuff. And I'll explain too. Second thought, I don't even want to grab the 20s. I'm going to stick with the 15. Because, I mean, I'm not joking. These aren't the strongest fucking muscles on your frame. You know, this isn't like your chest where you can load up a fucking bazillion pounds. All I really need to do here is fucking activate them. And with just the 15-pound dumbbell, and if you've never done it before, maybe even just 10, that's more than enough. So my basic plan, sit here, get my knee to kind of parallel height, and then just fucking burn out. You know, you'll start to feel it. You know, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Okay. Ooh. All right. Let's just keep pumping those out. And I seriously can't stress enough. You don't need that much weight. You're gonna feel a 10-pounder. Honestly, I could probably get a good set with a 5-pounder if I really wanted to make it like a higher rep set. But let's keep bumping these out. Maybe only like 5. So 4 more sets. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, 3 more. Oh, 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 oh my God. Okay. Holy shit. One more set. And then back to forearm curls. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right. That's enough back of the forearm work. If you've never experienced a forearm pump, especially in your fucking extensors or whatever the hell they're called, this is fucking nasty. Whoa. But let's find a cable, grab a straight bar, 3 more sets of something like this. That'll be all she wrote for forearms, goddammit. Sometimes I like doing this with just a regular D handle and doing one hand at a time. Honestly, the squeeze is pretty solid. Can't really go as heavy though. There's something about being real, like totally symmetrical, like doing the stack around for these kind of, even though it's a small range of motion, being able to translate all the tension of the stack into my forearms, this turns this into a pretty good set. So burn out with however many reps is feasible. Maybe do 2 like this, maybe do 4. I was gonna see what happens. Just as long as I go until my forearms are completely obliterated. Yeah. 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 Oh. 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 One more like that. Now let's do a single arm D handle. Okay. All right. Let's grab a D handle, switch to single arm. Forearm's almost done. Okay. Oh my God. Right. One more like that, then a forearm pump check, and then we get calf started. Oh my God. Okay. Holy crap. All right. Forearm's officially complete. Oh, it's hard to even like open my hands all the way. Let's take a look at how they look. then get calf started. Okay, this shirt is like awesome as a pump cover, but now I gotta like kind of roll up my sleeves to actually reveal what the arms look like underneath. So let's give me 1 second here. But forearms are diabolically pumped right now, to the point where even just like sitting here, like fucking having them walking around, like who who does this remind you of? This kind of this look with the forearms out and about. A certain Mr. Larrett. Oh my goodness, that would be a forearm workout for sure. But yeah, so what do you think? You tell me. Let's see if we can get a little zoom in and enhance on this thing. Okay. Oh, a little bit. What about the other side? Oh my god. All right. Much fucking nastier. But oh, actually, so no arm pump. My biceps are not pumped at all. I didn't know curls. I didn't know fucking tricep extensions. But just sitting here with just forearms pumped, I can't even fucking touch my fucking shoulder, which is usually the sign of a nasty arm pump. So I was a little iffy. You know, if I'm being honest here, I was a little bit iffy about actually doing a fucking just a forearm day, because honestly, fucking I miss back. But it's for the best. My back doesn't need more work. I want bigger arms. I want bigger legs. I want a bigger chest, so I can let my back kind of take the well, take the fucking back burner in a very legitimate sense. But let's start calves. Forearms over. I was thinking about starting on the actual like seated calf machine, but as it's taken, any leg pressing based movement is perfect. Right? You don't have to do leg press, you can do calf raises. So I'm going to start with a single leg, decently heavy, and then my left calf is a bit smaller than the right one. So what that's going to make me do is hit failure on the left side, the small weak side, maybe get 20 reps. And if the right one is capable of getting like 25, since it's bigger and stronger, I'm still going to stop at 20, and then they're going to start to balance each other out, you know, because the left one will get a little extra work, but it won't overpower the right stronger one. But let's camp out here for a minute. Oh my god. Okay. A few more just like that. Okay. Okay. I think two more like that. Then let's switch machines. Okay. Okay. A little lighter for this last one. Let's move on. So as nice and controlled and light as those seated leg press sets were, this is kind of a little more, let's just say, brutish in theme. So instead of kind of light squeezing, I really just want to kind of overload my calves. So I'm not going to do like crazy bouncy reps. I don't think there's much to be had out of reps like that. But these aren't going to be as slow and controlled as those. And having 4 plates on the side is going to make up for that. Because of the tension I'm feeling, it will be approaching monstrous. There we go. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe just one more like that. And then I'll do some lighter single leg. Ooh. Hey, that fucking burns. Oh my god. Okay. Let's do, I think, just 1, maybe 2 single leg sets. Only 1 plate. And then let's go do a little calf pump check. Much lighter and controlled on this one. And I don't know, I've got a weird habit. Not that weird, I mean, it makes sense for me, but I kind of go sideways. Like this is the right leg's pad, but for me, single-sided stuff feels better when I put my left leg on it. You know, there's just all sorts of minor tweaks to make machines work better for you specifically. Like maybe for somebody this feels like shit for their calves, but for me, I tend to like it. So let's get one more set, and then I think calves are done. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, the right leg's a little stronger, but let's go see how they look. Get out of here. Calves and forearms officially done. God damn it. Okay, so calves were actually finished a minute ago. My pump is kind of diminished. I was doing too much fucking yapping like a total fool. But let's see how they're looking. Slightly unpumped, but they're still fucking, they still got some blood flow in there. Actually, I might have to roll these up above the knee to really get the full calf experience. From the front, that's some reasonable fucking calf meat. I'd go so far as to say so. Woo. You gotta do them, man. Come on, you know it. So let's take a poll here. Let me see if I remember to do this. Have you hit calves in the last week? Yes or no? That would be up here if I can figure out how to do the YouTube polls. Have you done calves in the last week, man? Let's be real. Let's have a serious moment. Have you or a loved one been skipping your calf raises? If so, you're not entitled to compensation, right? You're entitled to be called a lazy bones. But let's get in the car. Forearms and calves officially done. It's a little too bright outside for the interior lights, so we'll just up the ISO to 3200, if you know what I'm talking about there. There we go. Perfect. So, calves, forearms, that is a solid fucking lift. And I do want bigger calves and I do want bigger forearms. So that just makes some sense. So I think this is going to be the foreseeable routine. Legs, chest, back, arms. Legs, chest, forearms, and calves. Arms. And then this day may switch. I may kind of change it up. I could foresee turning today into a rest day on occasion, depending on my overall level of fatigue. You know, don't be concerned. I'm not anti-rest day. I'm just anti-unnecessary rest day. And that's a very big distinction because there is a massive difference. I want to tell you there's a massive difference between just being a little sleepy, you know, a little tired because you've been on your feet all day, or you didn't get the best sleep last night. There's a difference between just being a little bit sleepy and lethargic versus being actually legitimately fatigued from your training to the point where it's not going to be beneficial for you to go into the gym and lift. Now, if you're a beginner, that's where it's a little trickier because you're going to be extra prone to soreness. You're not used to working out. You literally may need longer to recover. For someone to really go into the gym and like smash chest as a beginner, they might not feel like they're recovered to hit chest for another week. But the guy, if you're watching this, you've been lifting for a while, I would presume. If you've been lifting for more than 6 months, you're a lifter. You're exposed to it. You understand. And not just you, your mind. I mean your body. Like, you're used to fucking training. So, I think don't take it easy, man. Right? To an extent. And I don't mean do 2-a-days or anything wild like that. But right, the harder you push on the gas, the faster your car's going to drive. So, as far as I'm concerned, training on the regular, throw a rest day in when necessary, eat your food, get your sleep. That's a routine that I can fucking get behind, and that I have been getting behind for fucking years on end. To the point where I'd say I'm taking it to probably the level of obsession, but still, yeah, it's what I fucking like doing. So play now, go home, eat. I got some New York strips. I'll probably, you know what I've been doing? I've been cooking my steaks in like a saucepan instead of a straight up like skillet, just so I don't splash oil all over the place. Because the walls of just like a small kind of, non-stick pot, but the walls of it are so high up, I don't make a complete mess of my stove when I go in and flip this thing around. Oh my goodness, that is way fucking better. So that's kind of what I've been rolling with as of late. But tons of oatmeal. I'm talking oatmeal has been the primary fucking carbohydrate of my breakfasts for this entire fucking bulk. And I don't think anything's going to stop it. Right? My breakfast is probably going to look pretty fucking similar just because it's so seamless. Either a steak or some eggs, or I guess whatever protein source I've got fucking available. You know, I did sardines 2 days ago, 3 little tins of them, with as much of the oil strained out as possible. You know, I want some essential omega-3 acids and everything from the fish oil, but what am I going to get out of like an extra 30 grams of olive oil, right? So with the sardines, what I'll kind of end up doing is before I even actually put it into the bowl after straining it into like a little Ziploc bag so I can throw it away, I kind of sort of pour the sardines into a bowl and pat them dry with some paper towels, because it's the same logic of fucking patting dry a pizza. You know, you suck up all that extra oils off, and you don't have to deal with the calorie intake. But no, I'm not necessarily a guy who's going to say like you need to get 3 tins of fish oil in, or three tins of sardines in every day. But dude, getting in a reasonable amount of fucking fish oil, I tell you one thing, I don't know if it's placebo, but my knees feel so much better. I've gone through periods of time where I wasn't taking my like 4 capsules of fish oil with my vitamins a night, and I can, well, for whatever reason, which I would imagine is the lack of fucking fish oil, my fucking joints were getting a little bit more tender, you know? So little things like that, right? It all kind of adds up. I'm not saying that you're immediately going to feel like Ronnie Coleman after you take 5 grams of creatine. But right, everything that you can do to optimize your training, if you start doing it, they're going to add up, start paying dividends. You're going to start making actual long-term gains, potentially gains that you haven't made in months to maybe even years, depending on fucking where you're, how long you've been plateaued, if that's you. But if your sleep has been kind of scrappy, you don't actually have a getting ready for bed type routine. You just kind of like end up laying down, you're watching a YouTube video, and then you fall asleep halfway through. You wake up, your phone's dead, the alarm didn't go off, you're late. I've been there more times than I'd care to admit. But if your sleep's kind of scrappy, you're not really getting your meals in, you're barely drinking enough water. How can you expect to make results like that? It's a chore. It is a chore, but if you want your actual body to perform in the way that you want it to, which in my case is I want it to fucking right grow and get bigger and stronger, then I've got to keep all the fucking recovery aspects of it in order. If you got a fucking race car, you got to change its oil. You got to fucking replace the brakes and everything else. Not that that's really an awesome comparison, but there's there's extra care that's going to directly result in improved performance. So what I was talking about a second ago, if you get a good night's rest, that's a pretty strong one. You're immediately going to have a better lift the next day when you're well rested. If you're well hydrated, boom, you're literally going to be more pumped because you got more fluids floating around your body, and that's what even makes up the pumping effect. Your muscle doesn't just swell up out of nowhere. It's being pretty much, I don't want to say inflamed, but fluids from all over your system really kind of floating around your blood are being sucked into this certain area where you squeeze. So if you got more fluids floating around your system from being fully hydrated, guess what? You're going to have a better lift. And then the electrolyte side of hydration, if you've got a solid electrolyte balance, I'm no biologist, of course, but the way that your muscles even fucking fire is potassium and like magnesium and sodium ions or whatever, like passing through different membranes and shit. Like your muscle doesn't just contract; it's using those electrolytes to actually fucking move. So if you haven't been getting in, enough of every fucking electrolyte that your body needs, guess what? You're gonna perform worse in the gym, and odds are you're probably gonna have a fucking headache that can ruin a lift. So I'm talking, get on your sleep. That's half the reason I bought anything fucking sleep tracking related, so I can get some more kind of numerical data. And not that it's going to immediately change how I'm sleeping, but it does kind of help to actually see, like, oh shit, only 6 hours. Ooh, crap, I gotta actually get on that. It's going to have a direct fucking result in how the training goes. So I'm talking sleep, I'm talking hydration, I'm talking the electrolytes in the hydration. That kind of gets a little 2-in-1 there. Actually eating the right amount of food. I'm talking proteins, fats, carbs, as many as you actually need depending on your state of being. If you're dieting down, of course, you're going to have to eat in a deficit. If you're bulking up, or at least if you want to bulk up, you're going to have to eat in a surplus to actually grow. Those two facts cannot be tricked. You cannot skip those and somehow cheat those. Even if you're taking Ozempic, guess what? That doesn't change that. All that does is really just fucking crash your appetite so you can't eat anything. It's a little more complicated than that, but this isn't an Ozempic plug. But sleep, hydration, your well-fedness, those are the top three. That's why guys have shirts that say eat, sleep, train. Well, the training's important too. But if your food is on point, your sleep's on point, and your hydration is on point, 90% of the time, that lift is going to be on point as well. And I'd say another pretty strong force which can determine how your lifts go and how kind of energized you are and fucking excited you are for training. It's just kind of, it's just as simple as calling it like your baseline mental state. So if you're stressed, like if you're just kind of extra anxious and fucking, or if you're kind of uncomfortable, if your sleep was off, if you're not hydrated, if you're not well fed, you're not you when you're hungry. Free plug for that specific candy bar. But if your sleep, if your food, if your fucking hydration is off, odds are that's going to make you extra fucking irritable, and then you're not going to have a good lift. So I kind of root it back to those three things. Sleep hard, eat hard, drink hard, and not like that. I'm talking water. I'm talking water, goddammit. Then you're gonna train hard. And when those fucking four pinnacles of the lifter's life are in order, you're gonna grow. Bigger, stronger, or leaner, depending on what kind of training you're doing and what your calorie intake is around. But I can't stress it enough. The things that you do outside of the gym, I mean, as hard as you can go in the gym, the uh, the actual gains, the actual results that you're gonna get, there's no way to get around really kind of locking everything else in, right? So that's on you. That's on you, man. Which it might suck. If you're a real social butterfly and you got to make time for a lot of people or a lot of things or whatever else you do during the day, for you to have to kind of sacrifice some of that to take out a 2 hour chunk of time to get ready for the gym, drive to the gym, stay at the gym a minute, talk to whoever else there, and then drive back. For some guys, that's a serious fucking chore. And I hate to say it, but I mean, I'm not too envious. I like the way things are at for me, right? This is fucking killer. But I can't stress enough, it will be worth it. You know, sure, sure. It's more effort, but that's what gives the results that you're training for their actual value. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and then it wouldn't be fucking cool. Fucking iPhones used to be the shit right when they dropped because everybody had a fucking, flip phone. That was new. Nobody had it. That is extra cool. So the fact that not everybody's jacked and that it's hard to get jacked, and I don't mean 250-pound freak. I'm talking even fucking 170-pound lean high school build. Like even that is fucking killer. So it's hard, but it's worth it. And it's fun, which makes it not hard. Somebody like a Michael Phelps, he's not killing himself training, or at least it doesn't feel like that for him, because that's what he wants to do. When I put like when I put like 500 pounds on the Smith machine or on the barbell on my back doing squats, sure, it might look like I'm fucking going through torture, but that's just what I want to do. It's fun. So that's where you kind of have to reach a point of initiation where you get to have fun with it. And that's where it really kind of turns into an upward spiral, because if you enjoy doing something, then you're going to keep doing, you're going to keep wanting to get better, and you no longer have to rely on any outside source of a motivation. You just want to do it. So that's kind of the end state of the enlightened lifter. At least one of them is reaching the point of training being something you actively are looking forward to every day you get to wake up. And even unrelated to lifting, that is incredibly valuable. To be able to wake up and have something that day, it doesn't have to be a full day's endeavor. I mean, just something. Like this lift was only an hour, but I get to wake up and I'm like, dude, I'm excited to do that later. That's going to be sweet. You immediately get to have kind of a fucking purpose for your day. So that's something I always want to have. Even if I wasn't lifting, I'd probably need something. And if you don't have something like that, that's your cue to kind of say, fuck, man, I got to find something. And then your pursuit of finding something that you want to get into, that's your thing. So I think everybody needs at least one thing. One thing that they can kind of do a deep dive, hobby level, real niche interest into. That's good for you, right? Idle hands are the devil's playthings. So if your entire day is only, or at least your entire day of free time, only consists of Fortnite, Discord, and Instagram Reels, yeesh. Let's just say you're in a. Let's just say you're in a first. You got a first class ticket to mental turmoil. But that's as deep as I want to get into that. As I want to get into that. I'm not a licensed psychologist, of course, but I've got my thoughts on the matter. So, plan out, home, food, vitamins, shower. I don't stink, but I feel gross if I can just being all sweaty. And then a good night's rest. I'm sure I'll dream about the arm day I'm going to have tomorrow. But you know what's going to happen first. You know what's going to happen right in the morning after I take my 200 milligrams of caffeine and drinks like a liter of water. 30 minutes of a certain exercises machine, which apparently shall not be named. It's taboo. But we know what I'm talking about. So I'll see you then, man.